Hello everyone, I'm Bryson Eagle, and thank you for joining me here. So today from Breitbart, parents walk out of public meeting and protest over transgender bathroom policy. Parents from the Mancherster, Indiana Public School District walked out of a school meeting focused on gender identity after being barred from discussing a transgender bathroom policy. During the meeting, the parents attempted to voice their concerns about the policy that permits biological boys who claim to identify as girls to use the girls' bathrooms in the Mancherster elementary school. According to WPTA 21, parent Nate Gephardt pulled his two daughters out of the school to homeschool them as a result of the policy. As parents, naturally, we have a problem with this, he said. Biological boys need to use the biological boys' bathroom, and biological girls need to use the biological girls' restroom. Gephardt said he and other parents wanted to express their concerns about the bathroom policy at the public meeting last week, but we were told that we could talk, but we just couldn't talk about the bathroom issue. He added the meeting featured a presentation about gender identity, during which parents grew angry and left the meeting. The parents then held their own meeting. It got a little heated. There was a woman behind me that said what the presenter was teaching was propaganda, said Jewel Flitcraft, a teacher who identified herself as a member of the LGBTQ community, and who wore a sticker that said, "You can pee next to me." That's very, very encouraging, isn't it? There's transgender people everywhere, and they wouldn't even know if they went to the bathroom with them, walked by them, had coffee with them, served them their Starbucks, Flitcraft said, dismissing the parents' concerns. It's just making judgments like that when you can't tell who is and who isn't. Members of the school board defended the policy by stating federal law under Title IX says transgender students must be permitted to use bathrooms that correspond to their gender identity. Well, this isn't the first time I would say that Title IX was a mistake. Should have never been implemented into law. But regardless, so the long short of it, some parents in Indiana are upset that they are being forced, or their children are being forced, to accept that students who identify as transgender are allowed to use whatever bathroom they want. That's basically the issue. Now, for this specific case, this occurred at Mancherster Elementary School, where, of course, boys and girls, they really don't know what's going on. Now, I would argue that the parents here don't really understand what's going on from the administrations or the pro-gay teachers, let's say, and their perspective. Let's put it like that. But, most people don't. Not just the parents, but most people don't. Heck, even the administration or teachers, they don't even really know what's really going on and how this social issue is being played out. For the most part, we mostly just accept whatever society says is okay or tolerable. Now, that being said, this is all in line with believing that equality is good and that we should all strive for equality of outcomes no matter what the cost. Now, if you believe in equality, then you believe that transgender individuals should use whatever bathroom or resources that they need. But if you actually look at human nature or the survival of a society or civilization or whatever, something like that, then you won't believe in equality because it just doesn't work. It doesn't exist. Unfortunately, though, most people don't look at society to examine if the survival of a country or people will be maintained. And, I don't necessarily blame them. It's not like we have had a collapse of civilization recently. That seems almost impossible to most people. Regardless, from this short little article from Breitbart, there are two main points to talk about this. The first thing is to look at what's really going on. Now, the education system and, we'll say, other factors are pushing the supposed idea of tolerance onto the general public. Because people blindly believe in supposed equality, tolerance, or to tolerate other people, sounds like a good idea. If I wanted to be tolerated from other people, then you know what? Maybe I should tolerate others. However, tolerance is almost always a code word. Tolerance is a nice, progressive way of saying something else. When leftists say you should be tolerant of another person or group, what they really mean is to accept them for all of their beliefs and customs, and you're not allowed to criticize them or establish cultural hegemony over them. Their tolerance really actually means acceptance, and if you don't accept other people, then you are seen as, racist or misogynist or a hater of gays or more, or a combination of all that stuff, because you don't believe in equality. Now, we are naturally unequally unequal, and that's okay. We don't necessarily have to treat others poorly or not nicely, but by forcing mandatory equal outcomes for everything, society will continue to decline. Now, there's another issue here as well. We're merely pushing the problem away or avoiding the issue until something happens in the future. Some parents, especially, I guess, like here in Indiana or anywhere else really, they don't like their children going to school with transgender students, so at least within this article, at least one family is pulling their children out to homeschool those children. That's a solution, but it's merely avoiding the issue. And I understand, individually, we, just regular people, are generally powerless. However, united, there is strength. Those who continue to allow their students to stay in school, at least within this specific case, this Mancherster Elementary School, including the school district, are making the statement that this is okay. And this is maybe not necessarily welcome, but it's okay. We will accept them. Now, I'm not necessarily saying transgender individuals are bad or great, but I look at this and other events like this and consider the future of the country, individual states, civilization as a whole. But, regardless, all this does is kick the issue down the road for later. And you could also put it as silence is consent. No matter what feminists tell you, silence is absolutely consent. And if you do nothing about a situation, then you deserve the consequences of that inaction. And in this case, this very, very specific case, there is not enough of a hubbub, blowback, you could say, to change the end result. And lastly, this is merely a small symptom of society at large. Now, this is a small event, but society is, as some would say, sick. But you know what? This event specifically, regarding this transgender bathroom stuff, it could have happened anywhere across the country, really. Things are only going to get worse and worse, though, until we might decide to change society's course, we'll say. And of course, most importantly, it is my plan to do whatever is necessary to get to the point where we can make our society as balanced and as prosperous as possible. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I'm Brazen Eagle, and I hope you have a great, great day.